It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Thank you for joining us, folks. I'm Sam Lesante. Remember, you can watch us on 513 high definition on Service Electric Cablevision. Well, and folks, we're having an anniversary party. 25 anniversary? Nope. 50 years anniversary? Nope. 75-year anniversary? Nope. 100-year anniversary? Nope. How about 150 years? A grand celebration we're having. Who's having it? Well, our media partner is the standard speaker. Today we have no stranger to the show. He'll take it over. I know he will. John Patton, who was the operations manager. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, contrary to popular belief, I wasn't here for the first edition.
Yeah. But 150 years, okay, that's really a milestone, okay?
It is, and obviously we couldn't do it without everybody in the community. We've had a lot of loyal readers and subscribers and advertisers. I mean, we know in this business you can't survive without loyalty.
Well, you know what, when you go back, I think 150 years, okay, how this whole thing evolved, okay. Do you know about any of the history about how it started? I know that you will be talking about, the new, all the insertions and what you're having in the special editions in the paper, which I think will be, and we have some pictures for you folks to show you some a little later on in the show, some of the things, and they were just a drop in a bucket from many things they're going to have in the paper. What was some of the history?
Well, and we're doing a whole, I mean, the edition this Friday or Saturday and Sunday is a 72-page section. It's 6 sections, and it's a history of everything in the community. You'll see some front pages, and you'll see the old plain speaker, Standard Sentinel, some of those things that came about. But the history of the newspaper business is interesting in itself, but the history of the newspaper business in Hazleton, really is something different. And so we'll walk you through from, for 150 years, some of the old editions. You'll see some names on papers, and you'll be like, oh, okay, and you'll see how all those papers, a lot of them small, weeklies or whatever, and how they became, the one paper that now is the only paper in Hazleton.
When you look at the mindset, John, back in 150 years ago, at that time, print was, that was it. That's the only way you got your information, and how they started, and it's amazing how you have pros and cons. Okay, some people felt that if you weren't friends with the paper, they controlled all the political positions. Okay, those days are long gone. Okay, but it's interesting how the thing evolved from. You see the years evolving. Now, you've been with the standard speaker for 20 years, correct?
Yep.
Right. But going back to the philosophy of the paper, of the papers today. Okay. Most young people, you have social media, and of course you have your website, so they can always go to the website. What is the as an operations manager, what is your theme at the paper?
Yeah, I think for a lot of what we try and do is we want to be local, hyper local. So
you're stealing my term now.
Yeah, well, that's where I got it from.
Give
just
credit for that.
Well, yeah, I don't want.
You're talking to the big boys,
right?
Hyper local. I got to credit Sam Lesante for that.
Yeah, I don't want to invent it. I just want to steal it if I can.
Okay.
So, but that's what we're looking at. A lot of the information you can get. There are 24-hour news cycles everywhere, whether it's CNN or ESPN for that matter. But what we bring is the stuff that you're not going to see. We bring you all the local stuff. And again, you're right. Years ago, that was the only way to get it. So you had to wait till you get the paper the next day to find out what happened. We'll break a lot of the stuff that's coming in, as it happens. It'll break on our website. But you can only get so much there, and then you'll get the full story in the paper. And I know, we thank you for it, because on your show, that's what you'll say. You'll give some headlines. You'll say, for the full story, see the paper. Right. And I think that's what we bring. We bring that in-depth coverage of the issues that are important to people.
And that's critical, because I know a lot of younger people, they go to the social media, but the same thing with us, John. You can't get local information, okay, on the broadcast stations, all right? Now, with all the respect, I'm just saying.
Sure.
So if you want, and that's been the thing, the growth for, the local papers, because they still want the local information, okay? With that being said, we always learn from the past. History teaches a great lesson. Why would it be advantageous? I know the answer, but just in your perspective, why would it be advantageous for, when I say young people, I'm looking 20s, 30s, 40s people, that to really look at, what has happened in the past?
Well, I think what happens is in a lot of these situations, we get our information, some people are getting their information from the internet, and that is, if you're looking for it, you can find it. What we have a tendency to do is give you stuff you may not have been looking for. And so you open the paper and you say, oh, I didn't realize that had happened. And that's some of the stuff that we bring. So we learn from the past and we say, okay, what is interesting to people? What's interesting is in-depth coverage of local stuff. Communities, what's happening in a community, what church is doing what community is having a drive to collect, whatever, cans, garbage, or stuff like we've done, which are community events, when we've done food drives in the past and that type of stuff. So people will find out who's doing it, where they're doing it, and how they can become involved. Same thing on the sports side of it. A lot of the local sports, you can only get the coverage that you're looking for in the paper. I mean, you might get a score from TV or from the internet, but you're going to get the story of what happened and then everybody who played in it, plus maybe a ton of pictures as well if you're looking for them.
When I look back to, when I remember the people at the standing speaker, Morgan, Antonelli, Gloman, I don't want to miss, my God rest his soul, Bill Berry, who worked for us for a number of years. You look at, these people were truly journalists. Mark in his group, I'm saying, but they were journalists, but they were involved in the community. Antonelli was very much involved. You remember Anton?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. So with the with the expansion, with the standard speaker, and how the Times Shamrock came into the picture. True journalist today, okay, getting a true journalist who is not biased, and that's the thing I think what's happened in some areas, John, where you got broadcast stations who will become biased, okay, but the public will tell that story because they will tell you, well, we know they're biased, and whether it's a conservative or a liberal, either one they're biased to, they have a tendency of staying away from that. But you guys at the paper, at least what I've seen, okay, have always been able to be non-biased, okay, even though sometimes people say, you get that all the time.
Sure.
Yeah. Why'd you do this in the story? And you're siding with this guy, and and he was relative, and it always because of a small town. How do you react to that?
Well, I think, and again, a lot of those things are depending on how you're looking at it. But because maybe you're not objective to the story, but people who are objective to the story might look at it and say, okay, that is fair and it's balanced, and that's what we try and do. So if there's two sides to the story, we're trying to get both sides, and we want to present the story with both sides being represented fairly.
Going back when the Walshers had it, okay, the philosophy they did try to maintain the same visibility in the community and try to present as much as possible, and they did. They did a very nice job. Your position, okay, as operations manager, before we get to all the exciting things that are happening here, what do you do? I know nothing, but excuse me, I don't want to fall into this. I know.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, no, that is actually, and it's funny you say that because that is actually what Time Shamrock is all about. I mean, they want to. So I serve on a number of boards, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for community involvement as well as the people who work for me. And so we are out there in the community, like you said, we're out there in the community, and so that always lends itself to the question of how do you cover those events. And so what we try and do is, if someone is on a board or somewhere, someone else will cover something there, so it's not, you don't jeopardize the fairness, of the event. And again, we spend a lot of time on the road, trying to help out and trying to do things like the 150th anniversary, but also stuff that's like we've talked about before, stuff that's in town when we've done food drives and those kind of things.
Yeah, and I think I bumped into your mother-in-law, I told you, and we were talking. I never met her. She's a very nice person. Too good for you, but anyway. But we said, John is you, and I'm not here to patronize you, but you get involved, and when you get involved, you're sincerely involved with that, and you do you do it from your heart. You don't do it because it's something to do. And I think, and that's why I admire you, John, because you're not a phony. You know, what you say you do, and you certainly bring a lot of credibility to the paper, okay? And I think your involvement in the community, okay? Chamber, you know, St. Luke's Board, I mean, a number of other things, your coach, you know. Half of those things you don't have to do, but you know, when you do them, you don't begrudge that, do you?
No, not at all. And I think I think when you're in the position that I'm in, I think what happens is when you get involved, people understand how important it is for them to be involved.
Yeah.
And so if for no other reason than to show people that, you know, we need volunteers, and we need a lot of them. And I think that, you know, when I do that, when I list the stuff that I do, people will ask me about it, like, and I say, you know, I give to those what I can, but hopefully what the biggest thing is, I show people that, you know, you do need to support these things.
The community requires so many things, okay? We're working on or the town is working at a homeless center, okay? Which I think, you know, here the media should be able to, I'm hoping to get Alberto on to discuss what he'd like to do. I think it's a great thing, you know? And I know you guys will be there, you know, to do whatever we can to promote that. That's what I think media is all about. 150 years, folks, the Standard Speaker. We come back, we have some pictures we want to show you. He's going to tell you all the great things that are happening. We have, let me get this out. We have a picture here of me. This is, yes, it's going to be me. But also, if you recall, back in October of 1993, when I was 16 years old, you didn't know that, John, did you? Hazleton to get TV news. We started back in the joint media partnerships, and then continuing it on with the Lynett and Doherty family, the Time Shamrock, first-class organization. We're very happy to be the media partners with them. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Remember, we're on HD channel 513. You can get to look at us in clear definition, high definition. My email is sam@ssptv.com. And remember, you can watch all of our shows, all of them we produce, on ssptv.com. My guest today, John Patton, who is the operation manager for the Standard Speaker. They're celebrating something that's fantastic, 150 years in the paper business. And once again, congratulations to Time Shamrock and everyone else, John. Now, let's talk about what's happening this week. I want to show some pictures that they'll see. This is only part of the many, many pictures. So the year-long celebration, okay, there's grand prizes, etc. Tell me what's happening.
Okay, this coming Saturday, a 72-page special edition, a collector's edition, will be given out to all. Will come with your Saturday paper for all the people who subscribe. You know, we want to try and get everything as best we possibly can. So Saturday, everybody who's a subscriber will get this 72-page edition. In there, there'll be 6 sections, and I see some of the pictures being shown now. But basically, it'll be a history. I mean, each section will be dedicated to a different, you know, theme.
And those pictures a second, Sam, because I want to make some comments with those. I'm sorry to
That's
interrupt.
okay. That's all right. And then on Sunday, it'll be on the newsstands for sale on Sunday. And then again, we know that we've already been contacted. You know, we'll have them for sale at the paper. I mean, we have enough printed. I think when people see them, one may not be enough. I mean, if you've ever been around, if you've ever been part of the newspaper, I mean, this is going to be something you don't want to miss. You know, it kicks off the year-long celebration. We will have a bunch of different things going on, but some of the highlights are we've partnered with Mohegan Sun and Chaskin Jewelers, so we'll have some big prizes that are coming through those. And you got to see the paper to get involved. Each Sunday, probably twice a month, we'll have a listing of all the stuff that's going to happen during the year. Each month there'll be an event, and you'll be able to register in the paper. There'll be a coupon for you to cut out, and then online as well. And you know, there'll be a chance to win a lot of prizes. Everything has a 150th theme. So I'll give you a little example. The YMCA, we're going to give away 150 day passes. You know, so people will be able to experience the Y, that kind of thing. So you'll see things like that. Mohegan Sun, there'll be packages for $150, and then there'll be a grand prize. And Chaskin Jewelers, same thing. We'll have a grand prize from them. So it really is going to be a year-long event. We have stuff planned during the course of the summer. You know, but certainly, you know, if you're not a subscriber, sign up now, and we'll get the paper to you Saturday. But really, it's going to be worth it. And again, I think people are going to be really pleased by it.
All right, let's start showing some of the pictures that you're going to see, Sam. Because now the guy on the left, Joe Rao. Okay, he was from Pardeesville. I remember him very well. The family related to the Clatch family, and it brings back. You know any other people on this?
I don't. I'm probably if they pointed them out to me, they probably would. But
Yeah.
I didn't recognize them when they were then. But I might recognize them when they now.
Okay, Sam, show us another one. Okay, now who's that gentleman?
I don't know the answer to that.
These are some of the headlines that'll be, and there's my buddy Morgan. Okay,
Yep, that's the newsroom looks a lot today like today. It looks a lot like it did
There's
then.
Chuck Lumen in the back. Okay,
Yep.
I can't see who the other one is in the front, but Morgan was a first class man. I mean, Chuck Lumen, etc. Remember him? Chico, I think that's.
Yeah, is that Dan?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there they are. I mean, who's the gentleman in the front? I can't. There's Dominic Antonelli.
I'm sure a lot of people will be able to recognize them when they see them. They'll be identifying them.
And now the celebration going on.
Yeah.
Something. John
And Landau's in the back there.
What's that?
Landau's in the back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What else we have here? Okay, this is the press.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you there when the press was there?
When they put the press in. This is the old press. They put the new press in back in '76, and they've updated it. So it looks different now, than it did then. But
And there it is, Hazleton Sentinel.
Yep.
Okay.
That's one of the old ones. We have the first edition. That'll be in the That'll be in the paper. It's hanging on the wall. Hey, there's a good picture.
There we go. Who's that handsome guy on the left?
I think it's Carl Christopher in the back.
Well, look at Carl. God was just so Ray Saul,
Saul,
of course, Nick Walser, etc. That was a picture we took when we started the TV show down there, the news, etc. Ed. So
look at that picture.
There you go. Too. We're live. Okay. But when you as I'm looking at them, you reminisce a lot. Okay. Now for those people, like for my son and daughter, okay, you explain, well, this is what we had there.
Right.
So that's why I said the history sometimes means so much, and what they did. Now you have. You're going to do events every month, correct? Okay, so we're in January now. All right. Now, so what I could expect, even if because we play in the show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if I miss the edition, okay, I could where can I get that?
Yep, you can come right to the paper. We'll have them for sale at the paper. I mean, it's going to be. We'll have enough of them because we've gotten. we've talked to a lot of people already about it, and so we plan on having to mail quite a few of them out. We have a lot of people who take place, they come to the website, and once that goes up there, I know they're going to say, we always have that type of support from people that are former Hazletonians, and they're out of the area.
Yeah.
And that's going to be big for us to be able to get that to them. The front pages, we have about a dozen front pages in the section. A lot of them they'll be online. The ones that don't make it into the print will be online. The Kennedy assassination, Challenger, all those. I was there when they were putting them together. And again, life sometimes goes by too fast. And so if you get a chance to sit back and look at these things, it brings back some good memories. Some not so good. And that's what we talked about. I mean, we're here to report everything, the good and the bad. But certainly when you see some of those pictures and some of those people, that'll bring back a lot of good memories for people.
It's amazing when you talk about the website, and I'm sure you guys have it. The number of people that have moved out in either Florida, California, Utah, whatever. We're always amazed because we are able to see who's hitting our website, and a lot of people look at our local programming, FYI, and I'm sure you get tons of those.
Well, the internet certainly has changed the way we connect with people, but it allows people to be in California to be as if they're in your backyard. And I think that people still, even though they may have moved out of the area, they still feel connection. And so when you do something like this, 150, if they were here for 10 or 20 years of their life, something in that section is going to be relevant to them.
particularly those people relocated, in either South Carolina, North Carolina. I always get it when I talk to Tom Novotny, who's our IT person, and I say, he says we got hits here, and I say, well, we get a lot of overseas hits. I mean, we got tons of overseas hits. Okay, do you get the same thing?
We do, and we even actually, Mike Capicella actually writes. He's from across the pond. He actually writes a column for people, and so we see it a lot. It's a lot of times it's people in the service, or people that are over there, maybe even for a semester if it's a student that's over there for a semester.
I enjoy Mike's columns. He was on the show. Okay, we had lunch, and L.A. Tyrone. I mean, he is right on. I mean, really does a great job. Really, I mean, he does his research and he tells it the way it is. I applaud him. And Mike has a good flavor, and how he presents it. I mean, I enjoy those two.
He's a constant reminiscer too.
Yeah.
I mean, and that really is what people are looking for. And again, that's the type when you talk about about fair and balanced, but also stuff that you can't get anywhere else. You're not going to get L.A. or Mike Capicella. Mike Capicella. I mean, you're not going to get that anywhere. But in the pages of the paper.
When you look at guys like, and I don't want to. I mean, these like Jim Dino, okay, who is a pro at what he does, and how he assesses a story and how he writes about a story. It's factual. It's not biased or it's not slanted, etc. And I think that's so important. That's where the credibility factor comes.
I agree, and I think that people, when people come to the paper to read it, or they feel that they're getting an accurate account, and they can trust it, and that's what it's all about.
I enjoy working with Mark. I mean, the news department does. I see him every once in a while, but Carl Christopher, when Carl was there, I mean, Carl really put his heart and soul into that. And I was so happy to be at that farewell lunch that you guys had. And he's. I understand is he back in town?
He's back in town.
Yeah.
So I see him every
Get him
once in a
back
while.
in the speaker. Help Mark out.
Well, we look at that picture. He doesn't look a lot different from that picture.
Yeah.
He hasn't aged.
No, you have aged.
No, yeah.
I haven't aged. I mean, I just have a little bit more hair on my head. Okay. But when we hit this, when we did this, this was October, actually, 1993. We started in 1994 with Nick Walzer, and it was an interesting time, folks. I'm talking to John Patton, the big 150th anniversary for the Standard Speaker, and a lot of information. I know it's going to bring back a lot of memories, and you can pick up the paper this weekend, but anytime. Okay, we'll be back with John a little bit right after this break. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show. Remember, folks, 513, we're high definition now, all of our programs as well as our website. You can go 24/7, ssptv.com. My email, sam@ssptv.com. My guest today, a good friend of mine, John Patton, who is the operations manager of the Standard Speaker, celebrating 150 years. Okay, so we could buy this edition, right? But if I'm a subscriber, I get it automatically.
Yep, if you're a subscriber, you're going to get it Saturday. You're going to be delivered to your house on Saturday. If you haven't subscribed, get it now, and we'll get you a subscription.
Well, your rates are fantastic. I mean, your subscription rates. You have just special packages as well. Okay.
I mean, and on Sunday on the newsstand, if you're not a subscriber and you can't get signed up before then, Sunday on the newsstand.
Yeah. But this is an ongoing thing. So if we miss this weekend, we still could get it when we have other events that are happening. Right. Now, are you planning on a historical book?
We are. We had done a historical book, two of them, in '99 and '03, and we've gotten a lot of calls for it. And so what we're planning on doing is sometime in the middle of the year would be to do a historical book. It'll feature a lot of the stuff, but we talked about maybe even some of the sports stuff that we've done in the past. So it'll be another commemorative edition. Went over so well the last two times we did it. So we're planning on doing that again. And what we would do is we would have the readers come in and submit photos. We'd have photos like you've seen, a lot of that kind. So it would be maybe a group effort between our subscribers and our readers and the paper itself.
Well, on our part here at Samson Productions, we want to thank the Doherty Haggerty family, Eliant family, who have been great to us, and you guys at the Standard Speaker have been very, very nice to us. It's something that we're doing for the community. Yes, we sell advertising. There's no question about it. That's what keeps us going. I mean, so in order for us to survive, we need people to sponsor us. But in turn, we give a lot back. And I think the relationship is a good relationship. I hope it continues to grow. My congratulations to you and the entire, and please send my best to my friend. How's my friend Scott doing?
Doing good.
Yeah.
I had lunch with him. Yeah, he's doing good.
Please
Yep.
send him my best.
I will.
He's a great guy. Folks, the Standard Speaker 150 years. You can get the paper weekends anytime. Subscribe to it. And it's going to bring back a lot of great memories. But you young people are going to really enjoy it as well because it's a part of history that I think you should know about. We'll see you next time.